to Mic Check Waifu Waifu.
Mic check. Mic check, waifu, waifu. King, Teliano, is that you?
We live.
This is episode 251 of Mic Check, Waifu, Waifu. As always, it's brought to you by the great folks over at Patreon. Patreon.com/Mic Check, Waifu, Waifu is where you can get early access of the video version of the podcast. Is where you can get access to the Patreon exclusive podcast. The after stories where you can get access to Mic Check mangas, take talks, etc., over on Mic Check Waifu Waifu Patreon. Make sure you go to miccheckwaifuwaifu.com, hit the about section, join the Patreon. If you want to support, you can join the Patreon for free as well, or you can join the Discord. The Discord is open to anyone and everyone. We allow all to come through and have great conversations over there. Y'all was blowing up at like 2 o'clock in the morning. I look at my phone because I was getting off the computer and Discord was going off with great conversations. So make sure y'all join the Discord over on miccheckwaifuwaifu.com, the About tab, and then join the Discord. So we appreciate y'all for doing that and being a part of the conversation. We appreciate that. Now, this is Mic Check Waifu Waifu, and it's brought to you by the Patreon producers. Shout out to the Patreon producers who support us and everybody that supports us on Patreon. We couldn't do this without y'all. But shout out to Christian, the archivist, Rob from Dad Needs to Talk podcast, Fear, Go D Dre, J Lee Trey. Congratulations to J Lee Trey for finishing his meat, by the way. Chaotic Culture's own Ked the Pro, explicitly all for one Matt. What's up, brother? Monique Williams, Nachi, Semi Sensei, Frozen, Rob Stone, and T Money Fingers. Thank you so much for producing this and many other episodes of the podcast. We couldn't do it without y'all. Thank y'all for supporting us. We love y'all very, very much. Don't worry, After Story is coming back. I promise. And promise. And some solo content, some tangents, some discussions I plan on recording too to bring it over on Patreon. I can't wait for that. That's gonna be fun. Because I've been looking to do that, especially with the Discord popping off as much as it has. I would love to just have time to just rant and just throw it up on Patreon. Whatever it is whatever it is. We appreciate that for y'all listening to that. Okay, so for those of you that don't know, we still need a recommendation for something to review, something that's already completed. It could either be something you didn't watch either and that you wanted to watch, maybe in your anime list, something that you did watch and you want to get us to review. But we need our mid-season review. Mid-season is coming up in about 2 weeks. So if you can for us, over in the Patreon, the Discord form, there is a form there that says recommendations for stuff for us to review. Now, again, it could be anything. It could be something that's been on your list for a while that you want to watch and we can all watch it together. Or it could be something you've already watched and you would like us to review on our review scale. So make sure you go to I keep saying Patreon, Discord, and leave some suggestions there. We appreciate that. And then lastly, midterms is coming up also in a couple of weeks too. Is it? Yeah. Next week is episode 5's of stuff. And the week after that is episode 6's. So 2 weeks for midterms as well. So I don't know if we're going to do the midterms and the review at the same time. We may do midterms and then the review. What you think, Tel?
That could work because that can basically be week 6 and week 7. We got that covered. So
yeah. So let's do that. So week 6 and 2 weeks there is the midterm. So I'm looking forward to that. Hey, what's up, Saphir? We appreciate you. Now, shout out to everybody. Now, sorry. For those of you who are listening to the podcast version of this episode, this is the end of the month live episode. This is Mic Check Live 8. So we're going to be talking to the chat. We're going to do our best to make sure we say the name of the person that's talking and what they say so that you guys can still be a part of kind of the discussion as we record this live episode. So funny enough, you would think that our live episodes would get less listens on our podcasting form because it's live and people don't really want to be, since they wasn't there, they don't like to be a part of, they don't like want to hear it. But funny enough, the listens are the same. So that's always good to know. We appreciate
that.
What
I also think is funny?
What?
This is live episode 8, meaning we've been doing this for 2/3 of a year so far.
Damn, 8 months, huh? Yeah.
That's crazy. And I mean, that's dope for us to have something like this to add to the podcast after all this time.
For sure. The repertoire. And I'm glad that we finally got this simultaneously streaming on Twitter as well. So shout out to our guy, Rob J. Yeah, he says, what's up from C2E2? Salute to y'all. Can't wait to listen to the pod on Tuesday. We appreciate you, Rob J, for stopping over at the YouTube live. Twitter live stream. We have 22 viewers over there right now. They don't really talk much love. We appreciate y'all for watching. If y'all over there lurking, we appreciate that. But we here. All right. It's a special episode because this is the 5 must-watch spring anime. I'm looking forward to it. But before we get into that, how you feeling?
Oh man, it's been a good week. I'm actually pretty sore from working out. I don't have bad weeks. I might have a bad moment. I don't have bad weeks. I don't have bad days. I ain't gonna lie to you. But that's only because I don't let bad stay in my life. But all right.
Lucky you.
So hey, it's a mentality. But all right. So, it's been a good week, bro. Like I said, my body's sore from working out, but pushed past some more limits this week.
Congratulations, man. Let's go.
Thank you, brother. We had I took my wife. We drove to Houston. Can't remember exactly what part. It was about an hour and a half away, not just an hour away this time. Shit. And she did the Mug Girl Run. Which is
talk to me about that. I saw it on Facebook.
All it was is just an obstacle course, like an old course. So basically, all she did was, a bunch of different tunnels and trenches and climbing, and so they climbed like 2 mountains through tunnels and in water and mud. So they got real muddy and dirty. We know people in Houston, but we came by ourselves, right? So my wife did not have a group or a team to work with.
Wow.
But Monique, she's a very nice and sweet girl. Yep. Unless you get on her bad side, in which case she like all of us.
What's up, Barry? Sorry.
Right. Hey, what's happening? But she went in there. She made some friends immediately. It took her, by the time I got the kids out the car and she had registered, she was like 10 seconds through the door and made a group of friends already. I'm like, that's
nice.
My wife.
So she joined them?
Joined them, went through the whole thing. She killed it. So I was very happy for her. So now we're talking about doing one together.
That'd be dope.
October 6th, I think, is when it is.
Close to her birthday. Close to my birthday.
Yeah, close to your birthday. We're going to be celebrating.
Sick, man. I love that.
How you doing, bro? How's your week been?
Fantastic, man. It's been actually one of the best weeks I've had in a very, very long time. So obviously, I do want to mention that I know this is an anime podcast, but I do want to mention that Shogun ended. Thanks, Rob J. Appreciate you. He said about to start packing, have a dope show. But I do want to mention that Shogun ended, and it is by far some of the best TV ever. Like Shogun is, I swear till it's the best show I've ever watched in my entire life. It takes Burn Notice It takes Burn Notice by several miles, bro. It's that fucking good. The immersion, the acting, oh my God, the acting is incredible.
Crazy. The
effects, everything was that show is 100% perfect. Like everything about Shogun is perfect. We also started the Fallout show. Me and my lady started the Fallout show. The first 2 episodes we got down, and I'm liking that so far, and it put me in the mood to play Fallout again.
Yeah, well, everybody, the 6 million, the 6 million people who came back to play Fallout.
Yeah, so between all the Fallout games, it's been good to be back in that. But I'm having a good time, man. A great week.
Speaking of Fallout, just really quick, Monique had never heard of Fallout. So I showed her the trailer for the first episode. And she's like, "Yeah, we'll watch it." And we turn it on, and that like with that first 20 minutes, and we into that introduction for the first girl.
Yep.
And I was telling my wife literally because she was asking me questions like, "So you know everything about this world already?" I'm like, "I know a lot. I don't know everything."
Yeah.
And I was like telling her, there's a specific group of people who will try and like sometimes they might break into a vault or something like that.
Ooh, and it happened.
I wasn't trying to spoil
Yeah,
it.
of
But I
course,
said sometimes,
that happens.
you play the game, you might break into a vault. You don't know what might happen.
Damn.
And it was funny. I
She
was
got
like, yo.
she got blown back even before she knew she was blown back. That's hilarious.
It happened literally 2 minutes after. I was like, that's crazy, baby.
That's
All right, but
insane.
yeah, it's the anime podcast, bro.
That's brought to you every Tuesday at 9:30 a.m. CT. All right. So this week we're going to cover the 5 must watch spring shows in order. So 5 being the least most watchable, even though it's like it's hard to say that because it's very like this whole list is full of watchable stuff, right? But it goes in order as in order of priority, right? Like which shows should you prioritize watching, from 5 being the least prioritized to 1 being the best. But before that, let's talk about episodes of the week this week. Tell, what's your episode of the week?
I always go first, but I'm gonna just make it easy. Yatagarasu. Yeah, bro.
Don't talk to me. No, don't talk to me because I gotta watch it because I'm watching.
Last week I watched the first episode and I was like, I was very unsure of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But after watching these last 3 episodes plus this most recent episode, the show has me sold, bro. It has me sold. The politics and the characters seem to be likable far more than you would expect, because there's a lot of intrigue, there's a lot of groups of like conflicting actions already 4 episodes in. I was like, yeah, this might be one that was slept on. It's Yatagarasu.
Yeah, Barry, I just linked it, the Anilist page for it, so it's way easier to click it through that. Yeah, I got you, brother. I got you. So interesting. That's next on my list.
Yeah, and I don't even know what the rating is for it, but I think whatever it is, if it's lower than, let's say, 80%, I don't think that's fair right now.
Hey, our guy Frozen says, yeah, tell.
You feel me?
That's next on my list to pick up, because I picked up one of them I'm going to talk about in a minute after I do my episode of the week. But my episode of the week is Windbreaker. Windbreaker episode had chills on my arm with the way it progressed. It was so fucking dope, man.
Yeah.
I think we should have Windbreaker is incredible. If you haven't watched Windbreaker yet, please watch this fucking show. And again, I'm not the shonen guy at all usually, but Windbreaker is truly, truly, truly special so far. And
it's built different.
It's definitely built different. The way it's moving to the pacing is incredible, man. I'm like, damn.
Let me tell you what it kind of feel like. And I know we talked about comparing stuff before, but let me just tell you what it kind of feel like to me. I was watching Windbreaker this week, and it kind of felt like I was watching the Haikyuu of high school, like, gang anime. It felt like that kind of. I was like, yo, yeah, I feel like I can understand and I can get with this. So it did. I really can understand why this episode was. Yeah, it was a good episode, bro.
Actually spectacular. Justin, is that UT Money Fingers? But he said, looking forward to hearing this later. He said, stopping by to tell you have a good show. Appreciate that, man. We appreciate you. Patreon producer of ST Money Fingers. I'm assuming ST Money Fingers. Barry says Windbreaker is top of the season for sure. And then Frozen says the plot is there for sure. Is there? Yeah, it's. I don't know if you meant Yatagarasu or Windbreaker, but Windbreaker's plot. I'm high. What was y'all episodes of the week? Feel free to drop your episodes of the week in the chat. We're so prepared. And here we are now. Yes, Crystal. Crystal says, and we were so prepared for Windbreaker to go left, and here we are now.
It could have been any moment, bro. That took that left.
It could have been a terrible show. It could have been a terrible show. Like I said during last month, dude. If you watch the stark difference between last month's live episode and this live episode for Windbreaker, you'll be like, yo, what the fuck? It's just that good.
And I can understand why Jay Sawyer say that. Frozen. I can understand only from the regard of, like, this episode kind of felt like it showed a different kind of level where people are supposed to have a little bit more duality to them, because we already got duality in the idea of the Bofuri. Bofuri. We already know that this group, they're fighting for a noble cause, like a good cause, but they're still, fighting. So the cause is it's it is a duality kind of cause. But this episode, we get the actual head of the group who seems like a good, genuinely nice guy, and then the switch flips. It's just like, I hate to say it, Tokyo Avengers, when what's his name with the gold hair go from normal dude to, okay, now I gotta kick your chin through the floor.
Yeah. Yeah.
and Barry, Seventh Prince episode almost made me cry this week.
What a great episode.
It was definitely worth it.
No, Seventh Prince is different.
Seventh Prince.
You talking about Aristocrat.
Yeah, Aristocrat almost made me cry this week. That's what it was. But those two anime, it's been a struggle. It's been a struggle to choose one.
Shout out to somebody newer in the chat, Boombox. Boombox, what a Boombox segue, a Boombox way, if you will. He says, Go Loser Ranger is my episode of the week, but I'm still catching up on everything else. So
I was almost there too.
I watched Go Loser Ranger finally after the recommendation from Tell last week. And,
Here we go.
And yeah, it's not for me. It's definitely not for me. And let me tell y'all why. This is not for me. And it's only one reason why it's not for me. It has so much fucking potential to be a polo ass show. The reason why it's not a polo ass show is because the fucking satire. I can't stand the comedic satire bits of Go Loser Ranger. I'm already not a Sentai person as it is. Like, Sentais are not my thing. Right. Just like Mecha, just like Shonen, they're just not my things. But the satire within it is so irritating that I'm like, just shut the fuck up and try and accomplish and do something. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it felt wordy. It felt very wordy when I was watching them. Like, they talking too damn much and nothing's getting done. But let me tell you what I do love about Go Loser Ranger. I love how dark it is. And if it took it, and it's for the first time ever I'm saying this about a show. Usually I would say it shouldn't take itself too serious, but if it took itself serious, I think this would have been one of the best shows this season, bar none. Like, honestly, if it was like a serious somebody getting it out the mud, like a monster getting it out the mud type shit, and not so laughy.
And I 100% understand. And that's where I was trying to feel like, because I feel like there's those moments where it feels very, very serious and then it goes away. And I was like, that's what's going to get Polo, if anything, right? So I did know. I was like, yeah, that hit on the spot for like that specific concept. If it took itself a little bit more serious, it would be great. And I hated to say, because I was like, it's so kind of like really, really good. But it's like that moment. I screenshot, bro. The red keeper doing his thing this week.
Yep. That was like, dope, man. That
I was like, yo, ain't no way.
It has these moments of such bright shine for my personal taste, where it's dark like that, where the red guy is doing some fucking crazy shit, or the backstory of the Independent Ranger was incredible. I love that backstory, or even the conversation that they would have about the way they were. The way they were like moving, like the way that Fighter D and the Independent Ranger was tricking the blue guy, like that little segment of the show was incredible. But all this whoa and all that, you know, wiggly and satire shit, I cannot stand it, man. I cannot stand it in this show.
Yeah,
it's this close to being my what it did do though. It did make my weekly watch list. I'm definitely going to watch it because it's not a terrible show. It's not a bad show. It's a show just not for me. And those are my particular reasons. So
real Polo in. Hey, I'm very happy. Hey, look, I'm satisfied with that. I'll take that.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. Why I know it's not for me. Like, listen. I know it's not for me, but I can give stuff a chance. You know, knowing where the good is and what the bad is and why it's bad for me. All right, let's check in with the chat. So more episodes of the week. Fear says I have a couple of shows left this week, but Oblivion Battery is so far my episode of the week. Oblivion Battery is on none of our lists.
None of mine. What?
So we might have to pick that up, Saphir. I don't know why you ain't dropped that in you did say that. You mentioned it in Discord and said, is it enough people watching it to drop a form? Feel free to create a form whenever you want, whatever you want. The form doesn't have to have pictures. You can just create it. And if I see it or if we see it, we'll probably pop in there and maybe even check it out. So feel free to drop a form in our Discord whenever. Tell if you can you drop a link in the chat for the Discord for the folks? We'll appreciate that.
Drop it again.
Inside the chat. I don't know if you did that already.
I did it earlier.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
I
think.
Frozen says Yatagaratsu was his episode of the week. Barry said that the Aristocrat was good for sure. It was almost my episode of the week. That one was a very, very close episode of the week. But Windbreaker, like I said, it gave me chills. Like the hairs on my arms were standing up and shit. I think the latest episode of Loser Ranger may start that tone. I'm hoping, Barry, if it start that serious tone that I'm talking about, it will be great. Like it will be for me too. So I'm looking forward to it. It's not a bad show though,
right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I was very shocked by that one.
Yeah.
But Yatagarasu, which is the one that I completed or caught up on this week, bro, I'm telling you, this one, I feel like it's definitely in a polo bag. Way more than I think Go Loser Ranger is. And I think it's partially because of the politics and how things start to move, bro.
Yeah.
It feels like this is going to be something that is... I hate to say it's like more, because it feels like it's almost gonna be like almost as political as how Apothecary Diaries was, like where they have the conversation and the strategic drive there, but it's also gonna be a little bit more action driven in a sense because of how the characters operate. So I actually think I don't think it's gonna be as good as Apothecary Diaries. I don't think that all those elements are there.
Yeah.
But I do think that this is one that will really. I think this is one that's gonna sink its teeth into you. Like I think this is a good one.
Yeah, that's next. Like I said, I just had to catch up on Go Loser Ranger first. Glad I did though. Barry says the way they show how Windbreaker characters are cold. It's so crazy. That's a fact. What I love about Windbreaker is that the characters feel unique and actually drawn out enough, even within the 4 episodes we have so far. Like they have character to them. Each of them are very uniquely and independently them. And watching our main character grow on top of these other characters, like even learning the fact that slight spoilers, but it's not a big deal. Even learning the fact that the cafe girl is actually the same age as our main character, which means that he's starting to get these like crushy type feelings. Love it. So I love it. Apothecary Diaries is listed as a recommended show under that show. So maybe I have to peep, says Crystal. I agree. No, you good, Barry. You good. I figured it out. All right. So should we get into meat and potatoes of what this episode is, though?
I'd rather do potatoes and meat.
Let's do the meat and potatoes and meat of. Damn it! I tried to say what you said and still fucking up. But all right, let's do it. So these are okay. This is I'm gonna set the precedent first, and this is gonna kind of shock tell. But this is the way I did it. Okay, and this is independently of me. You can take my list with my taste. If you listen to us before, you guys know how I operate. You can take Tell's, and you know how Tell operates. So take his list and take his list. You can combine them if you want. Whatever you want to do to set your watch lists with ours, go in and do it. But I'm gonna say how I present to my list. We both are not adding shows with season 2s or season 3s or whatever. So right. Reincarnated as a Slime, we assume you're already watching it. Jobless Reincarnation, we assume you're already watching it. What's the other one? Demon King Academy, we assume you already watch shit that's season 2s. We already assume you're watching. Now, specific to my list is one of the most popular shows that was coming out this season that everybody's talking about. I'm assuming that everybody's already watched it, so I didn't add it to my list, and that's going to be Kaiju number 8. Okay, so I didn't add it to my list only for the simple fact is I believe everybody already has it, watching it, et cetera, because it was the most popular show dropping this season. I know that's a little cheating caveat, but god damn it, this is our show and we could do what we want. So, with that being said, with that caveat out the way, starting with number 5 on Polo's list.
Yeah.
Is Unnamed Memory.
Okay.
Unnamed Memory, I feel like is a great mixture, or it seems so far. Now remember, these are only episode 4s and 5s, so we don't have the whole story yet of these shows. So this list can change by the time it's the end of the year, right? So Unnamed Memory, I love the characters within this show so far. And I love the little background games that are being played within this show between the witch and some other bad actors, it seems, that are cropping up within the show. Our main character is Fire. I like the way he operates. He's a very straightforward guy. None of this nervous protagonist about what he wants. He knows what the fuck he wants, and that's Tanasha. Okay, Tanasha is the truth. So it's an incredible show. So Barry says it's a plan to watch for him. Yeah, watch it. It's actually really, really good so far. Loving the dynamics so far. Again, this is just so far. We're only on episode 5 for those who are listening to this later. On Telly May. At number 5.
My number 5 is Yatagarasu. That's it. And I'm only putting it at number 5 because I just caught up on it. But yeah, number 5 is Yatagarasu. I know I keep mentioning it, but this is the last time it's getting mentioned. Yeah, Yatagarasu number 5 because it's just everything that I kind of want in this kind of, I guess, what it feels like, what Edo period kind of setting again. Yeah. So either way, I love this setting. So yeah, this is fire.
What I'm about to try to do is I'm going to try to drop the Anilist links inside of the chat as we mentioned them. I already dropped Yatagarasu, so I'm not going to put that one there. All right. My number 4 is it was an easy one for me to put at number 4. This is a little behind the sauce for y'all. The way I put my list together is I put it together as fast as I possibly could in the order I think that comes to my head first. So I'm like 5, boom, 4, boom, 3, boom, 2, 1. And I just put it in this without thinking about it much. And 4 was Jellyfish Can't Swim. This was in my list, and this was the only one that didn't move. Well, 4 and 1. Those are the only 2 that didn't move within my list. So Jellyfish Can't Swim is done on High Dive. It is Jellyfish Can't Swim is by far probably I got it up there with the show we just reviewed, A Place Further in the Universe, so far. Again, these characters are special. Every last one of them are, again, super unique. I love how deep they're going into I guess you can call it the issue or the problem within this show. I love Jellyfish Can't Swim. It's one of my favorite shows, and it's the only show that's on High Dive that I'm watching, unfortunately. But great, it's a great one, Barry. I promise you, Jellyfish Can't Swim is actually really good. If you're okay with a coming of age story, with preteen characters, but other than that, I love where it's going so far. Like I do. And then every time we learn something about somebody's backstory, it always get me in this emotional way to where I almost shed that thug tear. You know what I'm saying? And for those of you that don't know, the thug tear is the one that just falls when you're watching something no matter what. It's not full blown crying. It's the one that just the fall out the right eye when you're just watching something. It almost got me there this week. Last week it did. This week it almost did. For sure.
I'm not gonna say it's surprising that you like Jellyfish Can't Swim, but it is actually pretty surprising.
It's that good.
It is good, bro. So I am very surprised, in a sense, because it's a polo ass anime apparently. Mm-hmm. Unnamed Memory is my number 4. Okay. And I think we both like it for all of the same reasons, but I actually think that what I like it the most for is how clean it is. And I mean clean in terms of the story, and clean in terms of the characters, like all of it. When I say clean, I mean that all the characters seem precise in what their personality types are. What we're looking for and how these characters interact with each other seems already well established. Yeah. For at least our main characters already. So Unnamed Memory for me just seems like a very solid pick this season.
I thought this was the one you were going to pick for your sleeper, but you picked Bartender.
Yes.
Which is very good. Number 3. Number 3 is super easy for me. This one moved a couple of times between 3 and 2, but I got it 3. Only because of this week in particular. Well, not really because of this week, but A Condition Called Love. A Condition Called Love is my number 3. For those of you that don't know, that is me and Crystal's sleeper. We always fucking pick the same sleeper every single time. But A Condition Called Love is special. I truly love this anime a lot. I will say this though. This week had me questioning the main guy, but in a way that's like, oh, he's deeper than I thought, because there is something there that fucked him up terribly bad, and I can't wait to see what unravels come from that dynamic he got going on, because it's kind of scary.
It is scary, and that is I ain't gonna lie, that main character is one I'm a little scared of personally. So yeah. A Condition Called Love is a little crazy.
Frozen says I might have to re-download High Dive. Yeah, High Dive got a new player, by the way, so I don't know if you watch it on the browser, it's fucking, the player is way better now. So Barry also says my wife is watching it and she likes it. Barry, check it out, man. You might like it too. This is what happened last season, man. I was not a shoujo guy at all, and now I'm just finding these shows that are so good that I'm like, I'm a fan. I'm just as much of a fan of the shoujo now as I am of the slice of life. It's a whole new world for me, so I'm loving it. What is your number 3?
I was reincarnated as the Seventh Prince, so I can take my time perfecting my magical ability. Yeah. I really actually really enjoy this show. I can't wait to turn this show on when I turn it on. Mm-hmm. I kind of I don't even care that people talk about the way Boy is built. I don't care. I ain't looking at that. I'm trying to see what chaos we getting into when he come on the screen. I'm trying to see how overpowered bro is, and all the things he learns. This character is ingenuitive. Is that, or they have ingenuity? Either way, I love this character, bro. I love him in terms of how he operates and all the things he figures out and how maniacally crazy he is just about learning the magic. I turn it on and I'm just enjoying it. So yes, this is my number 3.
I'm so thankful that I know you so well for all the many years that I've known you so well, because I was praying that you had this on your list, because it was so hard for me not to, because every reason that you said you like it, I love it. Like, it's like, and then come on, man, what's her name? Sophia?
Yeah.
Waifu of the season.
Swear, she went crazy.
I love her so fucking much. And just like you said, he's very innovative. And like, I love the fact that he's taken this opportunity that he had from episode 1 minute 1, when he was getting his ass basically embarrassed and destroyed. He's taking this opportunity, instead of doing some revenge plot that's, atypical, be usual. He's taking his time and he's relearning everything, and it's so fucking nice to see. Like, it's so pleasant to watch. Like, I look forward. I feel just like you when I see it on my Anilist, on my alert. Like, shit, yeah, hell yeah, it's here. We get to watch it. I'm excited. I'm smiling the whole time when I'm watching it. Like, the smile doesn't leave my face when I'm watching the whole thing.
You, bro, that's what it feels like. It's just, you turn it on and it's about to be like, and I'm not gonna say it feels like well thought out chaos. It feels like our MC is, and I say twisted in the most like genuinely like intriguing way of it, I guess. Yeah. Like, he's definitely twisted. You know what I mean? Like, that's 100%. A crazy thing to be, but it's like, it's in the right way in terms of like learning something or whatever, bro. So I turn it on, I'm just like, well, what we get into today, this feels like an adventure every single time. So yeah, I love it.
TK does nothing says it. He sounds like the MC from Knights and Magic. I might have to take a look. TK, it's so good. And the thing with the 7th Prince reincarnated, long title, etc., is the animation is so fucking good. Like, I don't know who spent a bag animating this show. Again, let me just take a look here. The studio is Sugumigi Akita Anime Lab, and the only thing they've ever done was something called Meiji Geki 1874, and it has 10 episodes, and it was only a 58% on Anilist. But the 7th Prince is it's a big shock on how good this actually is.
Yeah.
Fear says that the 7th Prince animation is still shocking to me. with a name and plot, you would think it's mediocre, but it's solid show and well-rounded. It's crazy that timing severe. But no, true. Like honestly, I'm shocked. What I'm looking forward to though is seeing what he like. It's always like, what the fuck is he gonna do next? Like that's the type of show it is when you watch it. It's that intriguing. Okay, we on me, right?
Yeah.
Okay, my number 2, easy number 2, very easy. Reincarnated Aristocrat. Let me get the full title because the full title is kind of crazy. There it is. As a reincarnated aristocrat, I use my appraisal skill to rise in the world. Very unique take on the isekai. Very unique take on the isekai, and a cast that you can't help but to love. Like, for one, 3 years passed. How did she? Never mind. But if you watch the most recent episode of Aristocrat, you know what I'm talking about. But I am indeed looking forward to the inevitable war that's going to take place in this with the Avengers that he's assembling. And I love the fact that he's not overpowered. I love the fact that we have a normal fucking character.
He is overpowered, bro. He's
I guess true.
In terms of what he is, if you look at what he can do, he is overpowered in the most like political sense of it. He can sit down and have a conversation with anybody and knows basically based off stats where it's gonna go.
Yep.
So
no, you're right. You spit. Right.
I'm glad you chose this one. I'm doing the reverse Uno card on you right now because this one, Aristocrat, it was so hard for me not to put on the list, bro. It was this or Seven Prince because they're so close, and I'm so happy you chose Aristocrat because, bro, I love the show as well. Yeah, insane.
Yeah, it's by far one of my favorites. This is another one I'm looking forward to. Like, you remember how I said a couple of weeks ago, it was either last week or a couple of weeks ago, how I said I watch it in order in which I'm looking forward to it, like the most. Right. So for me, it goes like Sunday, for instance. It's Go Loser Ranger. No, it's the Newgate Sunday? No, it's Saturday. But it's Go Loser Ranger. Sorry. Forgive me. It's Grandpa and Grandpa Turn Young Again, Go Loser Ranger, Mission Yozakura Family, Aristocrat, and Jobless Reincarnation. That is the order in which I watch these shows because I put Aristocrat that high on my list that I gotta watch it before Jobless. Obviously, Jobless being one of my number one shows, and still fantastic season so far. I'm loving everything about that. But Aristocrat is right there, up there with it. Honestly, I love that show a lot. What is your number 2? I'll tell you in there.
It's Go Loser Ranger.
Damn.
I love that show, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. I love that show.
It's not a bad show at all.
It's literally it's a Montel ass show, and I say that because I love when the protagonist, in a sense, is really like what they call a Deuteronomist, where they're in that middle. I love that, bro. I love that he's not wrong, but he's not necessarily right for the world. So it's like I just want to see how this goes. I want there to be. I feel like it's gonna go into some area where there's like this happy medium. It has to be. That's essentially the goal here. But yeah, I love these characters. I love at least the characters we've been introduced to in terms of how they're interacting with the keepers or the dragon keepers or rangers. But I'm not even a huge Sentai guy either. The only Sentai thing I've ever really liked was Beetleborgs, and I never really liked Power Rangers, so it was always Beetleborgs for me.
I remember Beetleborgs, damn. Which
is crazy, right?
Yeah.
And then the first anime I watched was a Sentai ass anime, being Ronin Warrior. So, but that's the only Sentai kind of stuff I like. So Go Loser Ranger has been on point.
Not shocked by that one. I'm about to bring in Barry here. He says, Barry, y'all got Newgate on the watch list. I drop it 2 minutes in, even though it was kind of harsh to do so. Yeah, Barry, I'm gonna be honest. It's you're not wrong, but I will say give it a little bit more. And let me tell you why. Okay. It's a slippery slope when talking about the Newgate because me and Tail knows like it's our kind of show, right? It's not great. it's not a show I would recommend to anybody or everybody. I don't think to the masses it's considered a bad show. To me, it's an enjoyable watch.
It is.
I love what's happening in it. I do. I like it. I like it a lot.
I think that's part of it, right? We love what's happening in it, but if let's say you look at the animation's choppy.
It's bad, yeah.
Voice acting is okay, mad decent as fuck.
Mad decent.
So the show, and let's also be real, we have a higher quality of life now, right? Especially with stuff like, let's say SAO, let's say JJK or Demon Slayer. Our quality of life for anime has been ingratiated so much, right? It's grown. So we get to this point to where, yeah, this is really a mediocre ass anime, but it looks like trash
as fuck
because there's these high quality outputs. Like you get a fire episode of One Piece every 1,000 episodes. You get this highly animated episode, and it's like, okay, One Piece is fire. You get Dragon Ball that gets super. There's a lot of high quality animation out there and stuff, so it makes it hard to look at something like this and be like, oh yeah, the story's kind of okay though.
There's so much better this season to watching that. But what Barry says it gave me SAO elements in the 2 minutes, and I was like, nah, okay, yeah, the 2 minutes. Once you get past that 2 minutes, it's completely different. It's so different.
It's very different.
That's what's so crazy is that 2 minute montage of the SAO shit is so SAO is crazy. But then once it's over, it's a completely different situation because of the new gate that opens up after that. And that's where it gets a little intriguing. You don't have to watch it. If you're bored, throw it on, give it a chance. Maybe you will fall into it kind of like we did. I'm not recommending it, but just try it if you're bored. There's so much other better shit to watch, though. I can't hold you. Like our lists here.
Right. And also, just let's be real. With all that said, we know what Polo's number one is since he just talked up Newgate so much.
My number one is Windbreaker.
Of course.
Windbreaker is my favorite new show this season. For obvious reasons. I love the characterization. I love a shonen that can build a character that I am intrigued by and want to know more and see the growth early and often. That's the problem with shonen is they don't have main character growth early enough or often enough for me to want to enjoy it. Because if I don't care about your characters, I promise to God I won't care about nothing else in the show. And that's the way I always watched anime since I started watching anime. Well, no, since I started watching Clannad. If your MC doesn't show any growth, I don't care about it. So with that, Windbreaker MC, the growth within Windbreaker is phenomenal. I love all the characters around him, and all the characters around him seems to have something spectacular. I like it. I like it a lot. And I'm looking forward to seeing this, I guess you can call it a tournament arc, but I'm going to call it a scrap session next week because that's going to be fun.
What Dip say when it's wrecking time, when it's wrecking time?
Stop. So Barry says Bartender is kind of on my list too. We'll get that a little bit later. Tail, what's your number one recommended anime?
With an honorable mention to Remonster, I will say that my recommended must watch is Windbreaker as well.
Oh, dope.
It is kind of hard to put anything else there. Because I agreed with the Kaiju number 8 sentiment. Windbreaker is hard to replace the number one right now because it does have like basically everything. And the only thing I would be possibly changing that list with is Yatagarasu if it gets better. But Windbreaker is number one right now.
I'm looking forward to that Yatagarasu because you are intriguing me with the political aspects that you said in.
But the Windbreaker has the character, the personalities that are very dynamic. But I guarantee you watch Yatagarasu get to episode 4, you might be like, hold up now.
Oh, but you gotta stop. Stop.
It's the prince, and then you're like, hold up now. It's the other. Nah, I ain't. But yeah, bro.
All right. So Huey, our boy Huey popped in. He says,
go ahead.
He says Kaiju number 8, my favorite for the season because of the older MC. And he says, what's up, y'all? What's up, Huey? Huey's our homie. We appreciate you for stopping by.
I agree with that Kaiju number 8 sentiment as well. The older MC is what makes it so good.
We're going to get into that right now, because what I wanted to do after we did our top 5 is give honorable mentions of stuff that you may not have on your list that we should have. Obviously, like I said at the beginning of this list making thing, Kaiju number 8 is there. Everybody's watching it. I love Kaiju number 8, except for this most recent episode. This most recent episode was my least favorite episode of the entire season. Of the entire, like any show this season, that episode was my least favorite episode, even though for the last 3 weeks other than that, was it 3 minutes? Yeah. No, for the last 2 weeks other than that, they've been my favorite show. It's been my number 1 favorite show, even above Windbreaker, Kaiju number 8. But the most recent episode was not for me. And let me tell y'all why. I hated the most recent episode of Kaiju number 8 is because I talked about this in the Mic Check forum, so make sure y'all join the Discord. I talked about this there, but I hated the trope of him not using his power.
I knew exactly what that was.
Him failing over and over and over. It pissed me off so much. I'm like, it's dragging. You're dragging it so much for it to be an inevitable save of somebody, like somebody close. Either the blonde haired chick, he ended up having to save her because something happens, or him having to save Art, his friend, the other guy that joined with him. Y'all know what I'm talking about, white haired dude. Like, it's all building up for that inevitable save that I feel like it didn't need to have that trope of he's just so terrible. Like, he shouldn't be here. He's not capable until he inevitably saves. So that is the part of the show where I did not like this episode at all, because it dragged so fucking much. It was pissing me off. Now, that's a personal gripe of mine, but I still love the show. I still absolutely love Kaiju number 8.
And I see that too. It did as well irritate me, but I still enjoy this episode heavily, just because I guess I placed more on his conviction this episode, because he's like, I'm gonna make things inevitable for me. But it was very irritating seeing that 0%, spoiler alert, on his scale or rating, and I was like, that's irritating, because it's like, bro, that's not what we should be seeing here. It should at least be minimal.
This one episode did what I hate shonen do. What shonen do, and it's that atypical be usual. I'm failing into the predictable unfailure. And that annoyed the shit out of me. I was so annoyed with that. But I do agree, he is still one of my favorite shows. I feel like it went kind of unexpected in the areas I was expecting it to go somewhere. Yeah, Barry, like it was too much. Now, back to honorable mentions. I do want to give this one an honorable mention, and we could take turns at this as well. The Archdemon's Dilemma on How to Love Your Elf Bride is a better show than I expected it to be. Now, we talked about shows that we know that won't be for everybody, right? We talked about that, like The New Gate. But this one, I think I can honestly recommend it now. It's just getting that much better. But it's very middling, It's not going to wow your socks off, but it's not a terrible show whatsoever. I'm liking the Archdemon as a character, or was his name Zagan. I liked him a lot, actually. I
Even his treacherous friend was cool until he wasn't.
Spoilers. I love it. Like, I love that part, like the dynamic of him learning to ingratiate himself with humanity again too. Like, it's a deeper show than you would think, right? Like, it's much more to it than what surface led. I think this is a show is worth checking out. Eventually, wait until it's over, binge, and you ain't got nothing else to watch though. That is my recommendation.
All right, and then Fear also said, I think that thing will be prevalent throughout Kaiju number 8. Are you guys fine if it happens, but just don't want to see a lot of it happen? And I imagine you're talking about him not using his powers to the full capacity.
No. I don't want that to be misconstrued though. Real quick, I don't want it to just think that it's him not using his power. It's inevitable when you look at the cover art that they know that he turns into a kaiju. Like, he becomes a part of the squad and they're taking advantage of his ability to become a kaiju. Basically, it's in the fucking trailer, so it's like it's there. It don't need to be this irritating.
Nope.
This tropey, I guess.
the way I see it is it's the lack of proficiency, right? We know that in this episode there was a month difference from what we last saw to now.
Yep.
And we have no progression totally in terms of how he can, use his power. And that's where I feel like maybe if we're going to have a little bit of a month time skip or some time skip, I would have preferred to have seen more like actual sustainable control over the power, other than the fact that I can just not be in it.
And it's the inconsistency.
Like that's what makes it tropey. That's what makes it tropey for me. It's like you don't use the power at all. You don't have any in between or anything like that. You know what I mean? So
he
that
does
is a little tropey.
That's the problem. He does, because when he picked up his car and fixed his car, and then you don't use any of that again.
Exactly that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
What the fuck? Like
exactly
that gets annoying. Like you can make yourself run faster by changing your legs because your arm didn't change when you lifted up your car. Like it's so much shit that was like it just went back to the old Shonen roots of complete I am useless.
And he doesn't have to be. What it was going to be is he's going to be useless. Yeah, like Jay Sawyer says, I actually loved him showing his knowledge of monsters on his job. You could still do that while making the tropey bits of it less tropey. Like he didn't have, I guess what I'm trying to say is he didn't have to fail as hard as he did, right? Right.
And for as long as he did. I think that's what got on my fucking nerves. It was too long, and it was too hard, I guess, too hard. Like it's a better way that they could have done it, I think, in my opinion.
And no, Barry, he wasn't in the form when he picked up the car. He just did partial transformation underneath the suit to hide it.
Yeah, he said I could.
He didn't use his powers in the competition or combine or whatever you want to call it, right? Or the test. The reason he didn't use his powers because he said he wanted to pass on his own. And I get it. You want to pass on your own merit, but you literally were on the verge of basically like getting blown back, your life blown about your body, and you say I'm not going to use my monster powers here, not even a little bit, to like stop a fatal blow to yourself. That's wild.
Because they wanted that trope moment, that moment of I'm not giving up. That shit. They wanted that shit, and I get it, but it doesn't have to happen in every fucking. I'm so sick of that shit. Like I don't need or want any of it. Like the fact that you could partially transform is cool. Like you could have, and maybe it's because I got pissed off at his friend saying like, don't use any of your powers here or they'll kill you. Maybe it was him saying that to stop him from even attempting to use even a little bit of it and all that. But like, it was just too long. It felt dragged on. This episode felt like it was 45 minutes long.
That's not Thrash's episode, bro.
Yeah, but I love to see, because now people don't think I don't like the show. I fucking love this show. This is probably my number 1/2. No, I'm gonna call it 1B of my favorite shows this season. Like 1A is Windbreaker, 1B is Kaiju number 8. Like I love the show that much. It's that good to me. Like I actually enjoy it that much. Saphir says though, I think that the theme will be prevalent throughout Kaiju number 8. Oh, I already read that, didn't I? He said the failure aspect of it. So he's gonna fail more within it. I think I'm okay with it as long as it's like not as drug out.
Yeah, you ain't gotta over dramatize it.
I hate that the Kaiju is a shonen. Yeah, when the cast is man grown. Yeah, and it's so shonen. But it still gives me Hell's Paradise vibes. Like the intrigue of Kaiju is there, like it was for me in Hell's Paradise. Like I love Hell's Paradise, but I don't know. I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. But so go ahead with your other honorable mention.
My honorable mention from earlier, I said Remonster.
Yes, I'm so glad you did.
I definitely think people should watch Remonster.
100%.
It would be on the list had it been more than 5. But yeah, man, Remonster. The characters are great, and we have our main protagonist who isn't completely like. I guess he is definitely overpowered. His ability to Rimuru, basically he's basically Rimuru, but in a much more brutal. Yeah, that's true. We did find that out. A much more brutal sense of it. But I am also intrigued in terms of like how they're going to sort through this village building part of it. Because if it turns out just like reincarnated as a slime, we got something to talk about with them.
Yeah.
They lifted their whole plot.
Straight up. So shout out to Barry. He says Remaster is so good. I enjoy the progression. Yeah. So we learned last week that Remaster came out in 2012, which is funny enough. He says episode 3 was kind of sus, but it didn't make me drop it. I love the progression. I love the main character, and what I love is the pacing. The pacing of it with him narrating what happens day by day by day. And I didn't think I would like anything like that, because usually I'm all about like, watching the character growth progress and seeing change within the character and blah, blah, blah. And this is just being day passes. We get a narrator. Day passes, we get a narrated. Day passes, we get another narrated situation. And I'm okay with it, because it feels like what it feels like it's doing is respecting my fucking time. And anime nowadays do not like to respect our time, not in the slightest, when it comes to like these middling shows, like these mad decent shows as we call it. But this one definitely respects your time, and I appreciate the hell out of it, because every time I watch it, I know I'm gonna get something in the beginning, something in the middle, and it's something that it caps on that still feels like it's accomplishing something and progressing forward. Because now it seems like we're about to have what seems to be like a war with some humans, while they're attacking the elf colony. It's gonna be so much fun, man. And this show is just fun. That's what I like about it. It's fun. Even though, shout out to Rob Stone, one of the Patreon producers, he did say that he dropped it, and that's okay. That's okay. That's not his thing. It's not his thing. Shout out to him for always leaving these great comments on our YouTube that I just love reading through. By the way, Rob Stone be dropping some knowledge in our YouTube comments. So if you're there, make sure y'all check him out. They'd be thoughtful. He did pick up How the Realest Hero Rebuilt the Kingdom, and he's liking it though, so that's good too. That's another great show. Another honorable mention is Tail Sleeper. It's Bartender. Bartender is fantastic, man. The reason why I didn't add it to the show is because it's like, to my list, it's like you can sit back and you can enjoy this later. You can enjoy it now. You can enjoy it whenever. It's like watching Bartender makes me want to talk like this, It makes me want to grab a drink, grab an old fashioned or something, chill, cold stack, max and relax, never slack. It's a good show. It's a good show. I did mention this last week, but I'm gonna mention it again. The motherfuckers be reaching with reaching with the way they make these drinks. It's so dramatic.
You have to stir it 3 times to get the perfect amount of air into the alcohol.
Yeah, stir it 3 times and make sure the ice wraps around the glass ever so slightly. They reach, but I love it.
But the best part is you have the sound designer in there with the little glass and the.
Yeah, and then the shake animation be so fucking well animated. Motherfuckers be, I love it so much, man.
They turn the frame rate up just for that.
It's so good. It's like they fucking mocapped it too. I love it, man. I swear.
And no, I agree though. I be wanting to mix up something real quick, Barry Simpson. Hey, I feel you. I don't drink anymore, but I always find it funny when Polo says old fashioned, because that's literally the only way I used to drink alcohol. And yeah, bro, it makes me want to pour something, but I don't drink, so it just be whatever. But man, the show is really relaxed, and I do feel like I can just turn it on. It can be pitch black in the room, and you just chill. You can go to sleep to it. You can pay attention to the story and be happy. You can just watch the colors, and it's just like it's a chill show. It's a special
show. One that you cannot not recommend. One that I'm going to also put on the honorable mentions is Spice and Wolf. It's a remake of Spice and Wolf, almost a one-for-one, like basically a one-for-one remake, but it's beautiful. I absolutely love this. Hollow has always been waifu since 2012 or something, whenever the original came out. Spice and Wolf is just a great show. If you haven't seen the original, watch this new remake. It's spectacular. I absolutely love it so much. And you got another one, Till?
My other one. Dude, and hear me out, because I haven't heard anyone say nothing really about this one. After we really started watching some of these, but I'm just gonna straight up say it. I enjoy A Train to the End of the World.
Oh God, I love it.
I know it's wacky and it's all over the place, and you don't know what's happening next. I enjoy this show. This was I didn't know if you loved it or not. I sincerely didn't, but it was just like I turned it on, and I know it's gonna be something wacky, and I'm watching it, and I started explaining the world and what's going on to my wife. It's like, yeah, they drive through and there's just nothing but golf balls or anything like that, and she's like, "What do you mean?" And I was like, just just look, and she's literally, it's craziness, but it's so like they're moving forward, they're progressing the story, they have a goal, and it's about the interactions in these different environments and things that we see and figuring out the problem, and then just it's well animated, everything. It actually is extremely above average quality. So yes, it is a show that I turn on and I thoroughly enjoy it. It's actually kind of crazy.
Dude, I'm really loving it. Like it's one of my favorite shows, but it's again another one of those shows I don't feel like I can just throw out there as a recommendation to everybody. But what I do love about it is that almost every week it sparks conversation in our Discord forums. Like, yo, that fucking episode was crazy. Blah 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 blah. We got a lot of theories running on in that forum. Like it's so intriguing. Like every time it's a new episode, which is going to be a new episode Monday. Every time it's a new episode, I'm like, oh, what the fuck are they going to get into now? And the characters, like the love they have for each other, I'm enjoying a lot, which is not what we're getting a lot of this season in particular.
And I don't know if anyone's really necessarily paying attention to this specifically, but what I love about it is it feels like every episode they've built on what the last episode has. So there's something coming from the previous episode to the new episode every single time. And it's like they just keep bringing these layers. So for it to be a show that is as wacky as it is, it does seem well composed. Yeah. So that's why, like, I turn it on. I'm just so happy to watch it because I know that I feel like you said with Remaster, respecting your time with how they demonstrate this is what's going on, this is what's going on. I feel like my time is being respected by having something to say that the story is progressing with these callbacks and bringing those things forward. It's like the show to me is. It's definitely, I'm not sure if it's under the radar because I haven't seen who's talking about it, but it's actually pretty good.
If you're not within our Discord community, it's not being talked about, which is great. Well, besides the wonder of anime, obviously, Lisa, she's talking about it almost every week, which I love to see. But I mean, that's not new. She has great taste, kind of like we do. So. Yeah, so it's not a surprise there. But this one is a very special show. And the theory I have on our Discord, in our Discord forums, is that see, I hate when people bring up Heavenly Delusion because I find them to be so different. It irks me. Barry says that it may be a stretch, but the progression is kind of Heavenly Delusion-ish. I don't think so at all. And
I only say it's not the same kind of progression because Heavenly Delusion had that attempt at two parallels running side by side. You know what I mean? And basically what we're looking at with those two parallels running side by side, they're trying to tell these two stories and make them kind of coalesce and come together at the end. But I just feel like Heavenly Delusion did not land that plane right. You know what I mean? I'm not saying for everybody, but for me, it did not feel like it landed properly. Where I know people enjoyed it, but I felt very unsatisfied at the end of Heavenly Delusion.
Underwhelmed, undersatisfied. I hated how stupid the characters were. There was a lot of within Heavenly Delusion that had me like, this shit fucking sucks, and that's just my personal take. I hate stupidity, stupid characters. But
a Train to the End of the World for me felt like it just felt like. So let me see really quick because I was looking at this question.
Fear says,
can you give an example of it, Tell, right? When I said like they're bringing things from the very beginning, so obviously the 7G happens, then we meet the train conductor and he reverts and he sends a message every single day. They have not missed that message once, even though they give us less and less time with it each episode. They haven't missed that message once. Then we go to the Mushroom Village. Mushroom Village thing happens. We get to the next episode. Mushroom Village is still kind of prevalent here. Even how they talk about the bitter melons, it's still prevalent
because
in this
of the
situation.
Fran. Yep.
Right. So we got bitter melons, mushrooms, and train conductor, and all these things continue to happen. Then we get to this episode where we're in an entirely different environment. Like I said, the mushroom thing still happens, and all those things in the progress in terms of what the people we've met continues on. At least in terms of they've been acknowledged and understood in some point for this episode. Now going forward, I don't know if the Mushroom Village is going to be brought up or if bitter melon's ever going to be brought up again, or I imagine we're going to see the train guy again. But the point I'm saying is that it feels like there's a forward progression in terms of how these things have happened every single episode. And it's just, to me, it's just something really enjoyable about knowing that I feel like my time is respected, like watching that. So it does feel enjoyable because of that.
Which none of that you can say, even if you like Heavenly Delusion, none of that you can say about Heavenly Delusion. all it is it's a very straightforward story. I mean, not getting heavily delusional why I hate it, but what you said is exactly right. And also, what I also love about it is that the theory behind the fact that this is probably exactly what it is, right? When our girl Yokia, I think her name is, when she pressed the button for 7G, it just took what's in her, how she sees the world, and broadcasted it out. That is my theory of what's going on within the show. And now what makes that so intriguing is exactly what you said, because going through these different areas, which she had to travel to because she's been in Ikebukuro for forever, however long. So going through these areas that she's been through, this is how in her head, when she was traveling to Ikebukuro or whatever, how she saw it. So seeing that replay, you start to get a grasp on who Yokia, whatever her name is, who she really was by her brain, her thought process being broadcasted out via the 7G and how she saw the world. I think that's an intriguing way of like maybe even like what they show, like hints of her having maybe what's it called? Is it DI dissociative?
Oh yeah, that when they see people as animals or different things.
Yes,
yeah,
yes. She it seems like she has like a mental thing with her, and when they call back to her childhood story when she's with her friend and the way she kind of talks to her about certain stuff and the way they kind of like interact with that, it's a great show in so many different ways that is so far the most intriguing out of everything we watch. Like as far as like, I don't know what the fuck is going to happen next, but I kind of got an idea, or how is this going to play into that? And everything that you said literally 5 minutes ago was so eloquently posted. Barry says like Odd Taxi. Yeah, almost like Odd Taxi, but in a more extravagant way, right? Like it's
blown out of proportion. In a
yeah,
sense.
yep. Super over exaggerated in order for her to cope with leaving the small town that she's from to go into this bigger city and kind of navigated it. It's so much there within this show that is just so great. And Barry also mentions that the map that the old guy drew out, that the map is as it being accurate, is another great part of the show that continues to be pushed forward within the story. It's so good. It's so good. Like I could talk about the show all day, every day, because I just love it that much.
That's crazy.
It's so good. It's so good. And I think lastly, but certainly not least, obviously there are a couple of shows that we're not watching, like a Regular Magic High School. I'm waiting till that's done to binge it. Misfit Demon King Academy, I'm waiting for that to be done and I'm binging it. Data Live, right. I love that fucking series, so I'm waiting that to be done and binge it. But lastly, but not least for me, is something that was super surprising because I thought it was going to be a mad decent or mid show, as like y'all like to say. But Children in Another World with my level 2 superpower cheat skill or cheat power or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I love this show. I love the characters in it. I love it so much. And it's again a show I feel like I can't recommend to everybody because it's another isekai. And I know how y'all feel about not liking isekais. Mm-hmm. But this one is good, man. It's enjoyable, and I love his wife. I do.
Yeah, right. His wife. The thing is that it's not even like I think the show is particularly good, right? Like in terms of the animation is right. above average or anything like that.
Right.
But it is one of those shows that is thoroughly enjoyable. Yeah. It just has all that. Well, it has all the elements that we like. Y'all know who we are. Y'all know who Mic Check Waifu is at this point.
For 251 episodes.
Yeah, Isekai is kind of our jam.
Yeah.
We do love a strong protagonist who is competent, and we do love a competent, strong woman protagonist as well. So yes, we enjoy this kind of anime. This is a Polo and Tail ass anime, and I'm not surprised that Polo likes it because I like it. So you know.
And I almost forgot to mention Mysterious Disappearances too. That's another one that
yes,
I'm enjoying as well. Wow,
it was interesting as well.
I was about to say, while the episode before this one wasn't as interesting, the culmination of ending that particular arc, or if you want to call it that, was crazy. Like the beginning of it had me sad as fuck. Like it hurt my feelings because I hate bullies, right? So I hate bullies, so it pissed me off seeing what happened in that episode. But I still love it. I still like Mystery Disappearances. This is when I watch. I feel like I'm watching on my own, right? Like I'm not watching for the podcast. Mm-hmm. I'm watching it on my own.
But you're not, because I'm watching it.
Yeah. So what I would suggest for this one in particular, Barry says, I watched the first episode. It's very interesting. Watch it when it's done. Unless if you're talking about Mystery Disappearance. If you're talking about Cheat Skill, watch that. That's really good. But Mystery Disappearances, I think this is a great binge watch. Honestly, it's probably a better binge watch than it is week to week for sure. Because that second episode, I was like, you know.
But it was a lot more talking that second episode, a lot less progress.
Yeah.
But then we got this episode that was like all, I would almost say all heat, because
I would agree.
That's my water bottle. I would almost say all heat, because it was basically on as soon as it started. It was like the bully situation, exactly that. And then they brought the bully situation back in almost like 11 minutes. And I was like, come on, man. Don't do this. I can't keep doing this.
I know, it was too much. It hurt my fucking feelings, man. I couldn't take it. I can't stand fucking bullies, man. It makes me want to beat them up. All right. So let's take a quick break. We're going to play a song. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to relax, get us a drink of water, use the bathroom, etc. And then when we come back, we can talk about whatever y'all want in the chat. Any anime topic y'all want to discuss in the chat. And if not, we'll maybe spoil an episode or something or another. But we're going to take this quick break. Feel free to drop questions and shit in the chat, and we'll come back and we'll read them all. But we'll be right back after these.
I've been working all I can. Get back to unite me. You know I got a plan. Hoping that you might be slipping to my bed. Baby, do me nicely. Baby, do me nicely. Once again. I've been working all I can. Get back to you like me. You know I got a plan. Hoping that you might be slipping to my bed. Baby, do me nicely. Baby, do me nicely. Once again, thinking about your body, thinking about your hands. Where they go so lightly, slipping to my bed. Baby, do me kindly. Baby, do me kindly. I've been working all I can. Get back to you lightly. You know I got a plan. Hoping that you might be slipping to my bed. Baby, do me nicely. Baby, do me nicely. Once again, thinking about your body, thinking about your hands. Where they go so lightly, slipping to my bed. Baby, do me kindly. Baby, do me kindly. I've been living in this life, baby. This is something I want you to call up on my side, baby. And slowly give me all your love. I've been living to the street. Want you to show me all your love. Show me all your love, baby. Love, baby. You're working all I can.
And welcome Black to episode 251 of Mic Check Waifu. I had to run. I had to run back to my computer because I was away for a while.
Yeah, it was like perfect timing.
It was perfect timing. The song just ended. Ooh, I'm out of breath.
Position.
All right. So what we got? Nothing. All right, man. Listen. I don't know. This has been a great episode. It's been a great episode.
It has been, man. This this conversation is always dope when we bring our top fives.
It's something about the live shows that put me in like the best mood when we do the podcast. Again, I know it's probably harder for the podcast listeners, even though our listeners still be the same on the live episodes too, which is dope. But I think these are like my most favorite episodes. Live ones.
And I mean, the part of it is because you're really a live streamer at heart.
That's true. Even though I haven't live streamed it.
I said at heart. I ain't saying real life.
I haven't done it in like 8 months. Shout out to my Twitch, man. Twitch.tv/PoloBornFly. Sorry if y'all heard that. That was me creating a new tab on my on my browser. My browser has, I'm gonna show y'all. My browser has this Sasuke thing on it.
My God.
So every time I start a new tab, it makes that noise. So, and every time I close a tab, it does that too. So it's actually kind of interesting. But yeah. Anyway, sorry, podcast listeners.
Polo did not Naruto run around school, just so y'all know.
Man, I love Naruto though. I still love it to this day. What's crazy is that
some Boruto stuff is going crazy right now.
Word?
Yeah, in the manga.
I'm about to say, come on now. Saphir says I am honestly down for a long spoiler talk. I should have come prepared. I know I didn't even prepare anybody that we was gonna do this anyway until literally just before we went to break. All right, let's do it then. What you want to spoil? What y'all want to spoil? What you want to spoil, Tell? That's what we normally do in a normal episode anyway.
Right. Let's go with
something that everybody watched, hopefully.
Well, I mean, we know for sure everybody watched Kaiju number 8.
Yep, we talked about that one kind of in detail.
Windbreaker, we didn't really go into too much detail about that, but we can definitely talk about that.
Yeah. Let's do that.
We can know about a condition called love as well.
Yeah, okay. All right. So if you haven't, let's start with Windbreaker, because everybody here watched Windbreaker at least.
Mm-hmm.
What gave me chills about this episode, I think the most, was the spiritual pressure of the Bofurian's leader.
Mm-hmm.
That he didn't exude until it absolutely needed to exude it without changing much of himself. I think that is what gave me chills. I'm like, yo, that shit is fire. The fact that he has this presence, this aura about him that even got our main character like, oh shit, I see why they follow him. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, damn, this dude he like that? Which means that when we see him scrap, which is also very intriguing, the fact that he don't want to scrap. Like he's not trying to fight. But what you did to his homies, we got to now. Like he's like, okay, well, all right, I'll fight you. And he was just as calm as he was when he was talking about plants. Like I think he's like probably one of my favorite characters in the show already.
Yeah, and to me, it just shows what a good leader should be, right? He's vertical. And like I said, these Bofurian, this group, right? What I like the most about them is that they come across as genuinely good people.
Yes.
They come across as people who care about others. And yeah, they are reckless, hard-headed, all of that in between, but they literally are fighting for a good cause here. Like I said earlier, there's duality amongst these characters, and to have that where we're getting this, that they got the meathead brawler mentality, but they're fighting with this meathead brawler mentality for the better of that neighborhood. I love it. So yes, it's crazy, and exactly like that. Fear doesn't want to fight equals a monster when it comes to fighting, and I think those kind of people are my favorite. They're my favorite.
I'm about to do this to probably piss some people off, but what I like about it is he's so unassuming, just like Mikey in Tokyo Revengers. So very unassuming until he has to assume. Like it seems like he's gonna be like very impressive in this upcoming battle. Now, what did you think about what's the Soshin High, whatever the motherfuckers called, Yellow Jacket Boys? Shushuin,
yeah. I think, and I mean, I think that a lot of it comes across as like the presence of certain characters. Certain characters are obviously written to be more intimidating or tougher. So I do think like at least 3 of these guys, maybe the main 5 lineup, like we saw like in somebody's basketball league. Maybe this might be the hardest Denver Nuggets team LeBron's ever faced. So, but what I'm
that's the first time your analogy got me good. That was really good. Oh my God, that was so good.
But
that was good.
John Morant was there, it'd be crazy. No, I'm just joking. But funny, just being funny. But I think that it is about the duality of these characters, where they have that ability to be caring, because they have to be, you know what I mean? They have to be caring to be in this position that they're specifically trying to be in. They're showing the difference between them and the other like gangs of sorts, because everyone else is literally just trying to fight. And then they also give us this great contextual background where they say that it wasn't really about that. The devotee of power meant something different. And it got perverted over time where it became this. And that's what I think the show is crazy, because it thrives in this like context of what things are or were, but this is what it is now. And it builds on that with these kind of like awesome characters. Every character so far, even the bad guys that I haven't necessarily liked, except for the ones that were just like one-off characters, they seem like well-written characters, you know what I mean? And that is something I can attribute to like comparison, like Tokyo Revengers. The characters are well-written and relatively enjoyable, but these characters in here are well-written, enjoyable, and our MC can fight is kind of dope. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Barry says, indeed, the flash frame when he put on his coat was wild. Yeah, that spiritual pressure. It was so crazy.
The eyes.
Yeah, the eyes getting serious. Everything you said is right. There's something about okay, let me just go to a gut check. I think Bulfurion is going to embarrass that other school. And this is just a gut check. Remind you, gut checks are just us kind of guessing of what's going to happen next. But I think Bulfurion is going to embarrass that other school, like beat their ass bad, to the point where it's going to be a crazy revenge plot for them, doing underhanded tasks in order to beat Bulfurion or make life hard for them. That's just my gut check on the overall place this is going to go. However, because I don't see anybody even coming close because of the way they kind of set up that other school. They kind of set up that other school to be these hardcore, badass, tough, scary guys. And usually what that means is that they can't equate to the guys who are not who don't fight for nothing. You know what I'm saying? Bulfurion fights for something. This other school fights for power, quote unquote, right? And I think that's going to be the lesson that's going to be learned within our MC, that like you got fighting for something is always going to trounce fighting for nothing, even though you can consider quote unquote power something, I guess. But I just think they're going to get their ass beat, and it's going to be some crazy revenge plot.
My gut check would almost be entirely the opposite.
Talk to me.
I think that the leader of Bofern is going to leave all of the guys behind and try and go handle it himself.
No,
Get jumped.
you can't say that because they already did. They already there.
Right.
All of them are already there together.
I think they're going to lose. And I think the leader of the Bofern is going to take that L, and it's going to open up a spot for Sakura to attempt to be number one. That's what I think is going to happen.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. That's a gut check. Very wrong gut check, but that's a gut check. I think.
Okay.
I could be wrong. You could be right. You could be wrong. I could be right. But that don't sound like what this show is at all. At all. Because
Hey.
for one, when they got there, they all got there at the same time. So there's no separate, no 1-on-5 fight, right? Like they all are there together.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's gonna lose.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't. Barry,
I don't know. I ain't ready, so I don't know. I'm just saying.
Barry says, I think like that one guy in Tokyo Revengers that went to jail.
Draken.
Yeah.
Draken.
The Fear says, I'm down for the twist. It would be a twist.
Yeah, I'm down for the mayhem. I ain't gonna hold you.
You think it's gonna get that like go that route though?
No, because it's not. It's a shonen. It ain't gonna go super dark.
I guess it's a valid point.
It is shonen, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's shonen, so it's not gonna go that dark. But I while I wish it would.
Yeah, no, I don't see nobody getting killed, stabbed. No, I don't.
Yeah, I would love for it to have a twist, but I want that is kind of what I want, and I only say I want the MC, not the MC. I want the head to lose, and I don't want it to necessarily be like, oh, well, I'm losing for the sake of my people kind of thing. I want it to be like it was a solid reasoning behind him doing this thing and losing in a sense, and then it gives our MC, like I said, a reason to train and try and be this number one, to really stick around for this. Because if his only true ambition is just to fight, and they have shown obviously throughout the show that he actually is a caring person, he likes helping the people around him and stuff like that, but I think that it adds another layer to his true ambition, right? He wants to be number one. He's going to want to do that regardless of if dude takes an L or not. But I think that if the head of the gang takes an L, and then Sakura is like, he lost, and I've just experienced how ridiculous he felt just to be around. That means I have to step my game up, and I think it gives him a reason to elevate.
Nah. And the reason why I'm saying no is because, well, part of that I think is possible.
Yes.
And the part that I mean is possible is that maybe two things can be true. Maybe both of us can be right. Maybe they go in, whoop their ass, and then my thought of the revenge plot comes down, and they do something sleight of hand to the leader of the school to where he can't fight anymore. You understand what I'm saying? So take it. They boom, whoop the ass of the other team. It's over. They're celebrating. They're happy. He's coming home from the roof of the school. The leader, obviously, the leader is coming home from Brefirin, and he's enjoying life. But the Shoshin people are pissed the fuck off that they lost as bad as they did. Right?
They some bums. Because
they lost as bad as they did, they sent their best fighters, including the leader, to whoop his ass. And when they whoop his ass, they make him incapable of fighting, which then causes our MC to need to step up.
Okay.
That is a more probable cause than what the hell you were saying. Them just outright losing straight up is fucking crazy. It's crazy.
I mean, but we seen crazier things?
No, you're right. It could, and it could still happen. While I still think it could still happen, I just think it's crazy. You know what? It's not that crazy because I don't think the MC would try to take the place of the leader if they lost like that. But I think it would cause them to reevaluate their methods or their quote unquote training. Maybe it'll be a training arc or some shit like that.
Right.
That could be possible the case, but I still think something along the lines of both of us being right is more so probable than not. It'd be crazy if the twist, if he lost because of how they built up the leader and he hasn't had a chance to be True. Yeah, so I don't know. I enjoy this show so very much. I don't think they would. That's with the way it's been so well written and the way it progressed so smoothly. I don't think it's gonna go. I think that route is not in the way of its writing, I guess, which would make it unpredictable, which could be right, but I don't know if it's gonna go that poor.
I mean, we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know. All right. Should we do
All right, A Condition Called Love. Well, do you want to do that one now, or do you want to do Kaiju number 8? Did we talk about Kaiju?
We already talked about Kaiju. Yeah. Let's do A Condition Called Love. This is gonna be slight spoilers, Barry. So if you're okay with it, stick around. If not, I understand. This is slight spoilers for Condition Called Love. No, it's not gonna be slight. It's gonna be spoilers because we can't talk about it without going into detail about it. The main guy, what he's giving me. So spoilers for Condition Called Love. Let me type that in the Twitter chat. It's a lot of. It's like 85 people or something like that. Okay, Condition Called Love spoilers. Okay. There's something about our guy, our male protagonist, that is fake. And it's becoming a little scary and nerve-wracking at the same time. Now, what's scary about it is that I think me and Tel know this, but most people should know this, that when you're in a relationship, doing fake shit in the relationship would never make that relationship last. I don't care who you like. Go into a relationship and be you from day one. Don't try to impress her or him. Don't try to be somebody you not, because that's going to end in a disaster. It always ends in a disaster. In this particular show, we saw a different side of the main guy that is honestly and truly unnerving.
Disheveling.
Very disheveling. He's very standoffish. Almost seem angry, like a pent up anger that's scary.
Yeah.
To somebody who's his classmate. Like, this guy is doing nothing but trying to be his, hey man, you don't ever talk. What's up, man? How you doing? Like, he's being friendly to him, and he's like, I'm not here to make friends with you.
Right.
And that's nerve wracking. But to our girl, I love you so I care about you so much. You give me the and it's so fake that it's nasty. It's disgusting, which kind of makes it hard to root for him in a sense. But I like him when he's teaching our main character something, when he's teaching her something. But I hated that he's faking who he is, you know? Does that make sense?
Yes. And I think that kind of what you said is that there's something wrong with him. And hear me out, bro. And I could be reaching. I might be reaching, but I don't mind. I'm gonna take this
levels
reach right here. Now, hey. A Condition Called Love. Wouldn't it be insane if he had a condition that literally made him crazy when he was in love? And it sucks, right? Because it's like, obviously we don't have a real idea as to what it might be yet, and I don't want any spoilers. But the idea that it literally could be something of that regard, where he is like, when he's in love, he becomes an entirely different kind of capacity of a person, where he feels like he'll do anything for that person, and anything can quite literally mean anything. Because as we've seen, he is kind of willing to go pretty far. Bro was on the edge of getting frostbite episode 1.
Yeah.
So we've gotten to this point, and I feel like he's gotten a bit of love, or something that feels like a semblance of love. And it was scary to me. It was scary because I'm like, yo, like, Yeah, he acts like that towards that specific guy, and he may never treat she may never see the dark side of what this person may be. But I was like, this show is kind of scary, and I love the love. I really do, sincerely. I love when I'm getting to see love, but I'm more interested now in the fact that this dude might actually be crazy. But I don't feel like it's gonna turn out that way. You know what I mean? I just think that could be how it's written. But yeah, bro.
Crystal says, did y'all peep that in the photos of his house of the previous episode where he cut out all the photos of his parents? I feel like that's something that's stemming from that as well. I'm not fully sure. Now it wasn't his parents that was cut out. It was him that was cut out from his parents. So that part is intriguing. Like, it's like he don't want to be close to anybody else. It's a weird. Maybe somebody can double check that for me. Was it his parents cut out or was it him cut out from his parents? I think it was his parents on the side of him and then he was cut out of it in the middle. I think is how it went. Either way, I think it's two very different things, right? He either hates being with his parents or he hates seeing his parents with him. I digress. I do think that there's something with him and getting close to. But what would it be though? I can't think of anything because he's getting close to her, but he doesn't want to get close to anybody else. That's such a weird.
Yeah, he was cut out. Yeah,
he was okay. It was such a weird dynamic within a character that I've never even seen before. Like, he's getting close to somebody, but it doesn't seem like he wants to get close to anybody. Does that make sense still?
Yeah, it does make sense. He only wants to get close to one person and nobody else. Crystal, I need to hear your thoughts. I need you to tell me what you think. You think bro crazy, or you think we just looking at the right and wrong?
Yeah, because sitting back at it,
I feel like this is definitely one of them double entendre kind of moments with this character.
Exactly.
He feels like he's intentionally double-sided to me. He feels like he's intentionally double-sided. Like, there's more to him outside of just this. And it could be, let's also be real. It could literally just be the fact that he is protective because of what he's seen through love. You know what I mean? It could be something like he cut his face out of the picture because his parents were so in love that that's all they committed to. You know, whatever it could have been. He could have felt that.
I was just about to go there, Tell. I think you're onto something.
Yeah, she said he's missing a light bulb. I do think he's missing a light bulb. I just don't know why. You know what I mean? Like, it could 100% be he's missing a light bulb because he hasn't gotten the love he wants, or he's just so infatuated with the type of love that his parents displayed that he's in love with that. It could be so much.
Let me elaborate on what you were saying there, because I think what you said there is a perfect way of looking at it. I think his parents were so in love with each other that they neglected him. What he's trying to do is find that love that his parents had while neglecting the rest of his connections to other people, because he feels like he can only get that kind of love as if he neglect other people.
Because that's what he viewed from his parents.
That's what he viewed from his parents. I think you're on to something there, and I think that's nailed right on the head. But the stories that was told within her room,
mm-hmm.
he was a edgy kid, apparently, right? Like, he was a standoffish kid. That kind of hints at exactly what you just said.
Right.
Stand away from other people. Maybe it's some bully trauma there as well. Maybe he grew from the ugly duckling to the swan type shit. But I mean, who knows? But I think his the over love that his parents have for each other, which neglected him. His parents probably travel the fucking world and do all kinds of shit together since they're never at his house anyway.
Right.
And he's basically being raised by since she had to contact his grandmother in order to take care of him when he fell ill. So it's like there's some negligence there that is probably causing his thought process to be like, oh, I want what they had, because they fucking absolutely love each other. Because he's even almost like that with her parents, right? And his sister. And like, he was kind of like, I think they gave a scene where he was kind of like, what's the word I'm looking for?
Awe?
No, and straight face. There it is. Like, where he was just like, where he was like, whenever when she was around her family during the whole skating Christmas situation thing. He was kind of like straight faced there as well, which seemed weird, but I didn't think anything of it until this most recent episode where he was like fucking being a jerk to his classmate for absolutely no reason. I'm like, what the dude? He's just been like, hey man, we don't get to talk much in school. You don't really say anything. When you're not, let's make friends. Blah blah blah. Our girlfriends, our best friends, or whatever. He's like, I'm not here to make friends and fucking
loser.
Yeah, like
that's
it's
basically what he did.
Basically what he did, and it's so I don't know, man. Does it make you? And Crystal, you can answer this too. Does it make you root for him more or less?
It makes me. It puts me on edge.
I am in the cautiously optimistic mood as well.
Yeah, and I say it puts me on edge because I want to root for him. Like I
Me
said,
too.
right? I do really, really want to root for the love in the show. But it puts me on edge because these are signs that I don't trust at all.
Crystal says I have to rewatch it, but I'm getting similar vibes with the show called Say I Love. Oh my god, I love Say I Love You. Oh my god, I got to rewatch Say I Love You too. Because the concept of both shows are similar but different. Very similar but different. It's almost the opposite perspective, right? Because the girl is more standoffish to the guy. Well, no, the guy is also very in love. I gotta retouch that one too. That was a great show. Say I Love You though. I enjoyed it. But I digress. I don't know, man.
It's always like that. He upsets me throughout the show until the end of the episode. It's like, man, I love this love that he gives.
Yeah, and I think I may be speaking too far ahead here, but I will consider that bedroom conversation between the both of them when they were in her bedroom. I think that could be the turning point in which he decides to open up a little bit, and she opens up a little bit more, and they start to actually get to know each other. Because what's been happening is this weird dynamic between him giving her whatever or trying to be the best man he can for her to show her or what love is, and her trying to understand him more. I think them having this moment in the bedroom is going to cause a turning point within both of them to try in a different way. And that different way being him opening up more and being more open to her, so then she can open up to him. And it can be a give and take type of relationship from there. And that's where we're going to learn more and more about his backstory. So all in all, I can't believe the show only has a 66 on Anilist. It's not that bad. It's not bad at all, actually.
Yeah, I expected closer to like a 75%.
Yeah.
So I am a little surprised at that. But I don't know, bro. I'm still mad wary. I am uncertain. I'm uncertain, bro. Not of the show, because the show has very many intriguing parts moving. So I'm definitely in for the show. I just got to figure this main character out, because I'm trying to look at the tags, bro. I swear I've been trying to look at these tags and make sure ain't no like psychological twist, like is psychological listed here or is horror listed here or something like that. Cause I just got to make sure bro ain't really crazy.
Yeah, looking at the tags is kind of, I don't know if it's the right play, because it got some weird, like, why was that tag there type shit. But what I'm thinking is that, and this is probably where we can cap this off at, but what I'm thinking is that I'm thinking this might be an unmitigated disaster. Either way, because I think faking the funk in any relationship will never end well. Period. Yes. Point blank. Like no, like ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you're not who you are within that relationship 100% of the time, then it's not going to turn out good. But I'm hoping for the best. I'm looking forward to it more and more as I watch it, because I just need to know what is the next major thing that's going to happen. Because like right now, the conversation they had in the room is probably one of the most important pieces of the entire show. But before that, you had just an important piece of her needing to understand, like, she has to care about herself too. It's so good. It's a very good show that I'm super intrigued by. And what you said was very good, because it's like you're invested. And that is what makes it so good. You being invested into the character, like, man, I'm wary, meaning like, I don't know what the fuck is going on with this guy and it's pissing me off. Like that's what I like about shows like this. That's why slice of life is my favorite genre, because it gives you these emotions, because characters are the only thing that can make the show. And if you're invested in the good and bad of a character, I mean, it's a pretty damn good show.
And that's what I think it is that, like, because I could never say, I think I love the characters' writing, you know what I mean? Like how the characters are written, I love them. But I think that's also part of it, right? If the writing is good enough to let you feel the discourse in an individual like that, I think it's good writing. So yes, that's why I think the show is good so far, because of that.
All right, man, listen. All I gotta say is thank y'all so much for rocking with us on the live stream. Thank y'all so much for listening on the podcast version. And I'm at Polo Bornfly on all social media.
I'm at King Teliano on all social media.
You can follow our social medias at Mike Check Waifu on Twitter, and at Mike Check Waifu on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and everywhere else. And last but not least, Mike check.
Thanks for kicking it with us.
You're now tuned into Mike Check Waifu.